Well, good Monday morning, everybody. Happy New Year. We are finally in January. And remember, this is the coldest time of year, which we'll talk about coming up in just a bit. Temperatures usually this time of year are in the 60s in the afternoons, and in the mornings, usually in the lower 40s. And that's kind of the pattern we're entering for the first week of 2024. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. We're going to be talking about the weather for the next 20 minutes or so. But again, yeah, first day of 2024, the new year, and it's pretty nice outside. It was cold this morning. We actually had a cold front move through earlier in the overnight pre-dawn hours, and as a result, it's a little breezy outside with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. And today's high will be up to about 61 to 62 here in San Antonio specifically, which is right on par for average for January this time of year. So here it is. This time of year, afternoon highs are the coldest between now and the second week of January. Climatologically, it is the coldest time in San Antonio and for much of the northern hemisphere. For the United States, this is the coldest time of year. And then towards February, despite previous winter systems moving through, we start to gradually warm up. And then by March, April, May, we're back into a new season, back into spring. But we're in the middle of winter. Winter officially started back on December 21st. That was the winter solstice. And now we're finally in January. Average rainfall this time of year is about 1.96, which isn't a lot. Historically, it's not the wettest month of the year. Warmest temperature ever recorded in San Antonio in January is 89 degrees, and the coldest, 0. And I believe that was back in 1949 in the month of January here in San Antonio. So just something to look forward to as we are, of course, in wintertime and here in the coldest time of year. And it's a little chilly outside, of course. Have a jacket and bundle up today. Highs will only, again, be near 60 degrees. We'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. Pollen count, if you're sneezing, you're not the only one. I feel congested, and a lot of folks here in the newsroom feel it too. It's a mountain cedar. It's mountain cedar season. And usually it peaks between now and early February. The second, third, fourth week of January is where we see the highest counts of mountain cedar, historically speaking. It's over 23,000. That's a huge jump. I believe yesterday it was up to 7,000. I'll have to double check, but it has taken a huge jump and courtesy of the colder air moving in. When it's breezy, when the air is dry, and when cold fronts move through, that's typically when the winds transport all the pollen that shakes off the juniper trees, primarily in the hill country. It transports its way farther south-southeast towards San Antonio and across the region. Pretty much all across Texas is where, the pollen spreads, because a dense population of the juniper trees resides in the hill country. And then when you get cold fronts moving through, it transports it pretty much from the hill country towards San Antonio, towards Houston, and pretty much all across central and south Texas. And again, we're in the prime of it. So between now and February is the peak of cedar season. And you'll see by the latter half of February towards March and the beginning of spring, that's when cedar counts really start to trend down. But of course, get ready for that. It is going to be a struggle for the next several weeks because a lot of folks are feeling it. The counts are just going to get higher from here as it gets colder, cold fronts move through, and it continues to just spread the juniper, ash, and the mountain cedar all across the area. So get ready for that. All right, good morning, David, Guadalupe, and Jacob, and John. Happy New Year. Thank you so much, John. Happy New Year to you as well and your family. Jacob, what is my favorite tacos? My favorite tacos, probably either bacon and egg or chorizo and egg. That is my favorite breakfast tacos, if we're talking about that, Mr. Jacob. Again, Guadalupe, Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a wonderful start to 2024. Hopefully you have it off and you're enjoying the nice weather we have. It's cold, it's breezy, and it's going to be just like that all day today. So we'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. Current temperature, 51 here in the city, 46 in Helotes, same thing at Bernie, 52 at Calaveras Lake, and about 55 at Pleasanton. We're looking at 40s in some areas in the hill country between Bernie, Kendall County, Gillespie County, and Rock Springs at 43 degrees, 49 at Del Rio, 52 at Eagle Pass, and about 51 at Victoria. So very chilly outside. And here's today's timeline. Up to 61 is the best we'll do, which is actually a little bit below average. Typical this time of year, 63. So we're in a cooler pattern, which we'll take. It's winter time. And then by 2, 3, and 4 p.m., a few breaks in the sky, some sunshine peeking through. Tonight will be mostly quiet and clear. And then I would say after midnight tonight is when the clouds rush back in. And that's when it'll start to produce some rainfall. Now, tomorrow we're looking at 90% chance and coverage of rain. It's going to be a cold, gloomy, gray day. It's going to be one of those days you want to spend inside. Because while nothing severe is expected, we're expecting light rain in the morning and then more moderate to heavy downpours throughout the early afternoon as it moves in from the west and as an upper level disturbance moves over Texas. And then another chance for rain on Friday. It says chance for rain on Monday, but we'll fix that in a little bit. So here's the cold front moving through Corpus Christi, closer to deep south Texas, towards the valley and towards Brownsville. You can see Brownsville is at 76 right now, and then we're at about 51 here in San Antonio. So that's about a 25 to 30 degree drop in temperatures behind this particular cold front. 39 at Amarillo, 40 in Dallas, and 37 in West Texas. Here's satellite and radar. If you're traveling, it is dry. If you're traveling anywhere across Texas, from Houston to Dallas, should be just fine. The cold front that's moving through along the boundary itself is some rain out in the Gulf of Mexico, of which it's all moving away. So drier air is taking its place in its wake. So we're looking at a dry pattern for the rest of the day. You may see a stray shower south of Corpus Christi in the next couple hours, but otherwise all the moisture associated with this cold front is moving offshore over the Gulf of Mexico. Now here's a wider view and a wider reach of things. You can see pretty quiet across the south and towards northern Mexico, but more cloud cover is working in our direction. And upstream towards California is a storm system. While it's not producing a ton of rainfall, it has been producing very dangerous wave heights for Southern California. If you've been keeping up, anywhere from San Diego to LA has been experiencing wave heights of 15, 20 feet over the last several days. That same system is moving onshore, not producing, again, a ton of rainfall, but with it, more lift in the atmosphere, and as it moves towards Texas, that's going to get rain going. So today, mostly dry, highs near 60, a little chilly, a little breezy in the wake of the cold front, but by tomorrow morning, rain starts to form. Heaviest downpours will likely be between, let's say, Austin and Dallas, and more scattered to numerous showers and non-severe storms between here, Houston, Corpus Christi, and deep south Texas for tomorrow. So again, today's dry, but tomorrow things get a little bit more active. So here's the hour by hour. Today, high near 60 to 61. We'll see some sunshine through the afternoon and evening. Sundown around 5:30, 5:45 tonight. Late tonight, tomorrow morning, clouds build back in. Temperatures in the 40s and lower 50s tomorrow morning. And then we struggle to get out of the 50s and even probably the upper 40s tomorrow all day because of cloud cover and the rain cooled air that's going to form. Now notice the rain's not everywhere. There'll be less coverage out west. So if you're watching from Del Rio, Eagle Pass, Uvalde, Rock Springs, Carrizo Springs, drier generally. And then it does get wetter the farther east you go towards I-35 and towards Austin, LaGrange, towards Houston and East Texas. And some of those downpours could be heavy at times. Nothing severe, just pockets of heavy rain with mostly widespread light to moderate rain tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. Through Wednesday early, it'll start to clear out, but before that happens, rain totals on average between 1/100th to 1/10 of an inch, especially out west. Around the San Antonio metro, there could be a few pockets of rain that exceed 1/2 inch of rainfall tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon. And then the farther north you go, I should say, north and northeast of I-35, rain totals will be up to about 1 inch of rainfall between Austin, Dallas, Waco, and towards I-45 and near Bryan College Station. So here's a 7-day. Today, 60 to 61, a little bit of cloud cover and some sunshine. Breezy, winds will be moving at times 20 to 25 miles an hour. Here comes the cool down. Likely not going to make it out of the 40s tomorrow, so rainy and cold and breezy tomorrow. Drive safely if you're out back to work or back to school. A high of 49 to 50 tomorrow for your Tuesday. 90% chance and coverage of rain, so pretty much widespread on light to moderate rain with a few pockets of heavy downpours, certainly possible towards the afternoon. Drying out Wednesday and Thursday, highs near 60, closer to average. And then Friday morning, another front moves through. That'll produce Scattered to numerous showers Friday morning. It should clear out by Friday night, just in time for the weekend. If you have weekend plans for the first weekend of 2024, looks just fine. Highs above normal in the middle to upper 60s with more sunshine on the way. Good morning, Norma and Jacob. Is it okay for a bike ride today? Yeah, just bundle up, because if you're biking, of course you're pedaling at faster speeds, and it'll be a little cool and breezy today. Just keep that in mind, but it'll be dry for a bike day, Mr. Jacob. Guadalupe, you're welcome. Have an awesome day. Hope you as well. Thank you so much, Guadalupe. It means a lot. I hope you're having, and everyone's having, a wonderful start to 2024. Hope you're enjoying the weather. It's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster this week. Rain chance on Tuesday, and then another rain chance Friday morning, and then it clears out Friday night. So we have a lot going on. Let's hope the rain can drop the cedar count. Yeah, that'll happen. So that's a big trade-off with the rain. While it's breezy and it's cold, that's what increases the cedar count from the hill country. The winds, the north winds, transport the cedar in. But when you introduce rain to it, it almost washes it out, and you trade it off. So cedar count goes down with the rain, but sometimes and likely the mold counts rise. So if you suffer from mold allergens, that can be a problem. But yeah, generally the cedar count trends down with more rain moving into the atmosphere, and we'll take that because it's up to 20,000 today. Cedar count, mountain cedar is up to 20,000. It is very high today, so if you're sneezing, that's likely why the mountain cedar is very heavy on this Monday. Yeah, so here's the 7-day, guys. We'll leave it up full screen a little bit longer. We have to get ready for the noon. Enjoy today, the first day of 2024. Again, cold, damp, and wet for Tuesday. Clearing out, drying for Wednesday and Thursday, and then another rain chance early Friday morning before it clears out Friday night. And this weekend looks to be nearly perfect. Highs in the 60s with mostly sunny skies and mild weather, at least in the afternoons. Mornings will remain cold, but the afternoons this weekend will be up to 64, 65, and 66 degrees. It's looking very good. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Have a nice and safe New Year's Day. Be safe for tomorrow because it will be wet. The rain will be moving in, and it will be cold all day tomorrow. Be safe, guys, and have a wonderful start to 2024. We'll be back later today. Bill will be back tonight for evening weather forecasts and updates. And yeah, I'll be on the noon show, so tune in to Ken's 5 News at noon for the latest on local news, weather, traffic, and everything you need to know at San Antonio. Have a wonderful day, guys, and be safe and make it a great one.